Hi, it's 50 years since the 1960s, a decade that was to change all of our lives forever. At the beginning of the 60s, the invention of package holidays opened up travel for us all. A mini revolution changed our streets, while the first high-rises changed our lives and the way we live. And gritty reality was new to TV and film. Welcome to Rewind the 60s. One of the big issues facing government at the beginning of the 60s was housing. Plenty of people still lived in slums and had outside loos. They were common. I had one myself. The town planners in Sheffield reckoned the only way was up. It was the birth of the high-rise.
Betty, Muriel, Sheila and Maureen have been lifelong friends.
I lived up there on the top deck. Then Sheila lived right round there.
Sisters Maureen and Sheila were born and brought up in the slums of Sheffield. Sheila remembers it well.
Slum life.
A bit hard because of well, the room you'd got. One room down, a bedroom and an attic.
If you were lucky.
And there might be, could be, your parents had the bedroom probably, there's a couple of children sleeping in the same room, and then the rest of children used to have to sleep in attic. Some hadn't got a bathroom, used to have the bath on the floor in the living room. It was a shared toilet by other families that lived in the same yard as you.
That's right.
I used to sit on toilet singing, and if anybody wanted to go on the toilet, they had to wait while I'd finish singing. They would say, Sheila, hurry up, hurry up. And that's what the situation was, wasn't it, love?
Parkhill was a particularly rough area. In fact, it used to be known as Little Chicago because of the crime there. In the mid-50s, the homes of this entire community were earmarked for clearance. Old Victorian slums were to be swept away, and a brand new idea for housing was needed. Sheffield asked its architects to design something radical and bold. And this is what they came up with. The critics said it was like a prison or army barracks, but plenty of tenants were happy.
I don't think it's very fair to call them a barrack. They look like barracks, I admit, like a prison. But to live in them, no.
These four ladies were offered homes in the development. It was the start of a new life.
All I do the whole night through is dream of you.
For Maureen, the day she first moved in back in 1961 was the beginning of something very special.
I was on Parkhill Flats 44 years. Really loved it. When we came out in slums and walked in that door on Parkhill Flat, it was beautiful. To walk into a brand new flat, nobody else had been in it, and it was lovely. My kitchen, where I lived in slums, well, it was about 3 feet wide. Then I came on Parkhill and I got this beautiful kitchen, new cooker with underfloor heating, central heating, hot water, which that was a luxury. We loved it.
The reason we like it more of all is because you don't have to mess about making fires and, chopping sticks with dirty coal or anything like that. You just get up in the morning and your heat's already there. You can let the children roam about with nothing on and they don't get cold or anything.
Let's fly way up to the clouds, away from the maddening crowd.
It's like being in heaven up here, because we've always been poor people, and these places are just lovely for us.
It was the most ambitious inner-city development of the time. There were almost 1,000 flats here. The idea was to recreate communities in what the designers called streets in the sky. Maureen remembers the things that made such a difference to her day-to-day life.
A wagon come on with milk. Bread wagon came on and delivered your bread if you wanted it. We could walk on the decks, we could go to shops without getting wet, so you could take babies in pram and, you know, they weren't getting wet. We had a laundrette, a newsagent.
Every shop, one of every shop.
So it was streets in sky.
Sheila thought the plan to create a community seemed to work.
Maureen, Mum's old house.
Yeah, that was
My mum, that white door, my mum used to live there.
Yeah.
Everyone spoke to each other and helped one another where they possibly could.
Yeah, if you had a wedding, they'd come down, and a funeral, which we didn't want to mention. But things happen, don't they?
Yeah, they do, love, yeah.
So, can't do nothing about it.
Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street.
But after the success of the early years, the 60s dream of happy high-rise communities went sour. The familiar modern-day scourges of vandalism and other crimes took their toll, and the streets in the sky turned into a place of fear and sadness.
Yeah, when you look round, you just can't imagine how it's come to this, can you?
Can't, no.
Or why?
Yeah, they were
Changed so rapid, didn't
Yeah.
it? It looks a sad place.
Should have been
Yeah.
looked after
And
better.
oh, it did. It
Yeah,
got
it did.
horrible, horrible.
Parkhill won't be bulldozed like the slums before it because it's been listed.
I believe in the man in the sky.
Instead, a rescue plan is underway.
I believe with his hand.
The old residents are having to move out to make way for the developer's makeover.
Well, I hope it takes off,
Well, I do.
because it's been a nice place years back, and I hope they can make it same again.
But the future of Parkhill will be for others to enjoy.
Got a lot of happy memories and a lot of sad memories. But I think piecing them all together, when I look back and reminisce, I can look on them as all, it was just a lovely time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lovely time living on here.
Ah, adorable.
Lovely lady.
They're lovely, weren't they lovely? And it really would be amazing if we could turn that place around, don't you think?
Well, what I find with them, and it happened not only Sheffield, Liverpool anyway, when they built these high-rise, the community spirit went a bit with it, because if there was a street, you'd know who your neighbour was, and Mrs. Jones over the road, and Alice in the shop and all that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that went with them.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, where I come from, and I had an outside loo. I lived in a tenement building in Glasgow, and my mother and my grandmother used to hang out the window. How's it going, Betty? All right, out there. The community spirit was so important. You're
Very strong,
absolutely
wasn't
right.
it?
Very strong,
strong.
very, very strong.